Didn't tell them what they were.
Hmm.
I said, what we're going to do is there's a standing area.
Something new happened.
Okay.
I just hit okay.
Yep. Very good. Something new happened. Is it you're in?
Yeah.
Excellent.
In.
Very good. Very good.
Oh my God, there's 15 messages.
Sorry, everybody. We the internet is not always nice to us.
No, it wasn't
sometimes
my fault.
Yeah.
We got fucked by an update we weren't ready for again.
No, it wasn't even. It was just there. It was just not connecting.
Yeah.
All right.
Obviously.
Oh, but we're gonna blame this on Graham's army, is what. Oh, Shorebilly says we're blaming it on Graham's army.
I saw Jaden through a TD. Finally threw his first TD. So we're up what 28-13 right now.
It's big man.
28-20. Oh, they scored. Shit. It better have been Zach Moss. I need Zach Moss to score really bad.
It's pretty much just Shorebilly talking to himself.
Yeah, that's it is what it is. We get it.
There could be a lot of money in that dude scoring touchdowns.
Heard.
Zach Moss did not score the touchdown. Fuck.
Obviously, Mel talked about seeing Pearl Jam. They're phenomenal. They're fucking pros. They're probably the best in the business at doing it as far as putting on a show, being able to change their set list every night with a bunch of different changes to it, and their merchandise. It's a fucking well-oiled machine, right? I mean, they are an organized version of the Grateful Dead. The problem is they're very hard to get tickets to, but I would say to anyone, if they come to town and you have the ability to see them, go see them. I've seen them twice. They were phenomenal both fucking times.
Do you know who was backstage and got a tambourine from Eddie Vedder?
Who?
Future first dude, Doug Bergdorf.
Oh, very cool. Very
nice.
Big Pearl Jam fan, and Pearl Jam's big fan of his wife.
Yeah.
So
it was a fantastic show. And
they just scored.
Yeah, the Commander Skins
Shorebilly just said they just scored, so I'm assuming that's what y'all were watching. Shorebilly says that Eddie Vedder sounds like a hound dog chasing rabbits.
Yeah, but he's a very good sounding hound dog chasing rabbits, and
that is both things. Both things are
I'm gonna chase bugs out.
Can I finish the exit story?
Sure.
When you're done with this.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I know I've been kind of dominating the conversation. Please continue your story, Sam. My apologies.
I know you had a week off, so I just let you roll with it.
Yeah.
But no, real quick. So I knew the encore songs.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched the first encore song from the seat, and I told the girls as they were starting the riff, I said, "Fucking listen, this is what we're gonna do. There's 3 encores. I'm not telling you what they are. I want you to be surprised. But after this song, we're fucking going over there because there's only one way out of this fucking place."
Yeah.
So we're walking over to the edge of the lawn, and we're going to watch the last 2 songs by that bar from the edge of the lawn that has the ramp going down right to the exit.
Yep.
Harley left the first 3 riffs of the encore to go get the car.
Yep.
We watched a song I've never heard of, to be honest with you. It's from one of the newer records nobody gives a shit about.
Right.
As the second song. It was Somebody Someone, I think, was the first encore song.
Mm-hmm.
And then they finished on Freak on a Leash.
Mm-hmm.
And so we watched Freak on a Leash in an area where they were freely able to mosh if they wanted to, and they did. I got video of the girls going crazy. And I said, the fucking second that last note plays, we are down this goddamn ramp.
Yep.
And it was like, and I was like, let's go. We fucking rolled out. I didn't even watch it. I went to go buy the 2 T-shirts, from the merch stand. And I came back. I said, got it. And they both went thumbs up. And then he started, the, that bit, obviously the little breakdown he does. And so it was perfect. And then they went crazy. I held the edge of the bar, almost pulled a muscle in my neck again, I'm sure, because I was a bit sore, but not as much as last time. And then we fucked off down the ramp. By the time we got outside, Carly was waiting on the shoulder of the road. We hopped in and we were fucking gone before 98% of the people were out of the venue.
Holy shit. So
we were on the fucking highway.
Nothing.
We waited for one traffic light with 3 cars in front of us before hitting the interstate again.
Holy shit.
It literally took us from venue home least possible amount of time.
That is fantastic.
It was excellent.
Well played. And you heard every fucking note.
And we heard every note of that concert.
Yep. You did not be like, oh, we're leaving early. Like, no.
It was so good. Yeah.
You'd break the girls' hearts if they didn't get to hear Freak on a Leash.
Of course. Yeah. There's no way. And you knew they were going to play it, of course. We weren't leaving until that song was played. Obviously. We had to.
Obviously. Oh, very
good.
So
it was phenomenal.
Yeah. The last point I was going to make about the Pearl Jam show was honestly, for me, the best part of it was watching Mel. You know, just kind of she had never seen Eddie sing. She wanted to see him sing live, and how much she was just enthralled by it all. Only thing that sucks is that's probably where I got COVID.
Right.
Because if you think about it, like, really the only place I went to the bathroom a couple of times, so I figure it was probably in the bathroom, going to wash my hands or whatever. That's probably when it happened. When it happened. So, all right, we ready to do a show, producer?
Christian says that's the ultimate dad story. What got you excited? Not the band, the logistics of traffic.
No, we loved the band, obviously. Come on. But yes, you're right. The logistics of traffic have become more important as I've gotten older. Yes.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Oh, hold on. I got to figure out who I'm going to do for intro. That might be.
Oh, fuck's sake. All that time setting up on your own house.
I mean, you've been off. Yeah, like you literally have not left the house in a week.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do this shit.
My God.
Fucking God.
Hi, I'm Tegan Graham, aka The Better Graham, and this is the DU Football Show.
Hella zesty, Mr. Graham. Hella zesty.
Yeah, you did it just to hurt me, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. We're back as a group, unfortunately still over the internet because I might have given somebody in this room COVID.
Might have. You did.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, you know, it's how it kind of goes. You know, sometimes these things happen, you know, even though we separated, you know. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston. Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Smoke of the Lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham. Sam Graham.
You want me on this wall? You need me on this wall. Here's my fucking shot of Malort for last week. Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show. A completely biased recap of the English Premier League is told by 2 common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and more every day, looking like Dave Grohl. My co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing, Mr. Graham?
Still faithful, though, which is good.
Well,
still faithful.
There's no Ukrainian nannies there yet.
So that's until the au pair comes, probably. Yeah, you're right.
It's all over. It's all over. And the ones and twos playing hurt tonight, but getting it done. Producer Mel, how we doing, Producer Mel?
So I got that magic pill set that's supposed to get the COVID out of you super fast. What is it? The Plavoid thing?
Yeah, I don't know. It fucked with your blood pressure, so I didn't take it.
You know what they don't tell you?
What don't they tell you?
The constant aftertaste is Malort.
Oh, nice. You like how I did the Malort, Mr. Graham, and fought right through that fucking intro? It was not easy. I can tell you that.
That's excellent.
I am having to suck on lollipops and hard candy to get the fucking taste of Malort out of my mouth because I didn't lose
She's sucking on something.
And in case
DU Public House, just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your pods. And of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It's at DU Football Show on all the social media and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. If you want priority in those emails, sign up to the Patreon. Patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier. We'll make sure that all of your messages get uber priority.
Oh, this week's sound check was a whole lot of Houston and a whole lot of nobody else.
Houston is pent up. You know how most of the time after an international break, we tend to run long because we haven't spoken on mic for a while?
Right.
Yeah, or that first week of the season, like we're back in it and finding our groove again, and kind of just like we missed you guys, so we want to talk a lot, missed each other, missed football. That was Houston this week. He just fucking went after it.
Well, because I had an international break and then I missed the show because of COVID. So
but I loved how you did like all of your shit all that time. And then you went, yeah, we really didn't do much last week because I was laid up in bed. And I was like, I had one of the busiest weekends of my life. Carly and I had to trade off driving twice from Westminster from a 1-year-old birthday party on Sunday because we were so exhausted from our weekend shenanigans. And yet you told us about what everyone else did while you laid in bed.
Yeah, because 1-year-old birthday parties, that's what everybody wants to hear about. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So is the red-blooded Americans we are. We vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, since we're across the internet from one another, we're each doing separate whiskeys tonight. What are you enjoying this evening?
I am enjoying one that we've done a fair few times on this show, the Bull Run 15-year-old single barrel Smallview.
Oh, it's a great bottle of whiskey.
It is such a good bottle of whiskey. It probably also means I'm going to end up sleeping in the basement again because it is 125.22 proof, if you don't remember. Finished for 11 months in their sherry barrel, sorry. It's a phenomenal bottle of whiskey. It's just so good. They do use a used barrel to begin with, so it can't be a bourbon, even though the mash bill is bourbon.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So, very good. All of you still have any on the shelf?
I don't think so. I bought 3 of these. This will be the 3rd bottle I finished.
It's a damn tasty bottle. I
think I might save this. I might switch up mid-show because I don't want to. I want to save it for a more special occasion, to be honest. Fuck you.
Fair enough. Yeah, you know what I'm drinking tonight? I am drinking Westward American Single Malt, the Pinot Noir cask, because it pays the fucking bills, woman. It might do you good to know what the fuck it's made in. Shit, you're going to be pouring it and talking about it in like 4 days, 3 days at Blazers and Cigars. I hear you. So this is our American single malt, generally 100% malted barley, bottle distilled in Portland, Oregon, aged in brand new American white oak, not required from the category, but it's what we choose to do. Blended about 20 barrels, blended to a profile. From that, we get barrels from the Willamette Valley, Willamette, damn it, as you so significantly and poignantly said last week. We get our barrels from a bunch of different wineries, but the primary one is a boutique winery by the name of Bergstrom, which is very, very well known for their single vineyard Pinot Noirs. We get those barrels, French oak, been used 3 to 5 years, had Pinot Noir in it, still wet. We put our whiskey into those barrels for a year to a year and a half. I know you are very much particularly a fan of this because it's very indicative of a Pinot Noir. It's earthy, it's dirty, it's light, raisin,
I like it a lot.
Plum, very Speyside Scotchy in a way without the smoke. Very dry on the back end, a very nuanced and subtle whiskey, and quite fucking good. And I want to take a sip of it, so because I haven't yet. So.
There you go. Get after it.
About $84.99 on the shelf, somewhere between $84.99 and $89.99, depending on where you're buying it. And and that's all I gotta say. Mr. Graham, what do we always need to do?
Always remember to drink responsibly, everybody.
Cheers over the internet, my good man.
Cheers.
Dink. All right. So we're going to open with the thrilling draw at St. Mary's Stadium. Just kidding. It has to be the early battle of the heavyweights, and it delivered blow after blow after soccer ball in the back of the head blow. Arsenal 2, Man City 2. Mr. Graham, right off the bat, I like everybody to know, normally these are my notes, right? And I write little bullet points. Typically in the opening section, there's 3 bullet points. In the second section, there's 2 bullet points per game. And in the final section, there's 1 bullet point per game. 6 fucking bullet points, because this game gave you everything. And there was a ton to fucking talk about. Before we even started the match, both teams missing questionably their best playmaker, the guy who pulls the strings, and Odegaard and Kevin De Bruyne already right off the bat.
Yeah. That I prefer to call this WrestleMania.
Oh, shit.
To be honest, because, you know, pre-match, though, is what we're talking about. And Odegaard is obviously a huge miss. Word on the street, we haven't got an official word yet from the club, but word on the street is to be about 6 to 8 weeks, which is not ideal. But if you offered me, knowing that, and you offered me this string of games that we've had, you know, Villa pre-international break, Tottenham, Atalanta, and then City, Tottenham, and actually, all 3 of those away, all 4 of those away from
all
home.
on the road. Yeah.
All 4 of them away from home. If you offered me 7 points out of 9 in the Premier League, and then an opening draw in arguably our toughest away game in the Champions League,
yeah,
I would have probably bit your hand off knowing we didn't have Odegaard.
Oh, God, yes. God, yes.
So, yes, a huge miss. It was obviously a huge miss for City with De Bruyne. I'm surprised Foden didn't start the match, to be honest.
He also wasn't 100% fit either.
Well, it still isn't, yeah. And very early on, not only missing De Bruyne, and I'm sure this is a bullet point, and I'm sorry, I am going to mention it now. It is the next bullet point, at least, is they lose arguably their other most important player in Rodri to what is now determined as an ACL, and he's gone for the rest of the season.
So kind of the next bullet point, but that does lead into the following, that the game opened, like you said, a wrestling match, because Kai Havertz put on his big boy pants and decided, I'm going to break something beautiful, and decided to run right into Rodri in the first fucking 30 seconds of the match, to then be followed by Erling Haaland going, oh, yeah, this is how we're going to play. Let me go ahead and kick Partey in the leg and see how he feels about it. Shockingly, Michael Oliver, 0 yellows for either one, which were both very much cardable offenses. And at first you're like, okay, you settle them down. You let each team get away with one. You say, fucking stop it, boys. Let's have a fucking clean match, right? But it didn't really go that way. And like you mentioned, Rodri on a corner kick, no foul play in it at all. Partey just put a body into him, right? This is let's into players on corners. There was nothing in it, but Rodri goes down, and you could just tell the way he went down, he was fucked.
I think it was prior to the body. It looked like the jarring of that knee happened as he's approaching the player that he was trying to body.
Yeah.
But let's start with the Kai Havertz. Rodri, if you watch the replay, steps in front of Havertz. Now, Havertz didn't do anything to get out of the way.
Right, of course. Yeah.
But Rodri did impede his run. Could have been a foul on Rodri, to be honest with you, for impeding the run of an opponent. In my opinion, if you ask me, but that's not how the refs see it. It's never going to be how the refs see it, especially because we've got a cannon on our chest, and we're going to talk about that a lot more in the upcoming minutes.
Yeah, it kind of got out of hand.
Fucking Pugmole is in the pocket of goddamn Dubai, is what it seems like.
So the thing that really needed to happen for City is City, in order to have success in the game, they needed to shake up what is undoubtedly, and I can say this definitively, the best center back pairing in European football right now, questionably in the world right now, right? With Saliba and Gabriel. And And they did it, and they did it with relative ease. That goal was almost too fucking easy that Erling Haaland scored early. Now, my question is, do you think that maybe snapped those boys into shape and they were like, because the rest of the game, we're going to talk about how good they were after that.
So I think that goal was really made with the pass to Haaland.
Mm-hmm.
It's what drug Calafiori out of position. It's what Calafiori was already out of position, and it's what drug Gabriel wider,
right?
Which opened the space between him and Saliba for Haaland to exploit once that pass came into him.
Oh, it was a massive gap that Haaland went into. It was a massive hole.
Yeah. So now what he's done this season, it seems, in the previous 2 years, we've kind of looked at Erling Haaland, and it's been a lot of Hulk smash.
Right.
This season so far, he has scored headers, he's scored penalties, he's dinked a few balls over goalkeepers. This particular one was another instance of him outside of the foot shooting early. I don't think Raya was ready for it.
Oh no!
We saw this same sort of goal just on the other side with the other foot in the Chelsea game with Nico Jackson, which obviously we'll talk about later as well, just briefly. But that I don't think the keeper was set yet. I think he's expecting Hulk smash to the far post with his right foot, but he gets outside of his left boot to the near post. It was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And also that
time he reacted, it was already past him.
Made Haaland breaking his own record of fastest player to 10 goals in the modern day Premier League era within 5 games. The previous record was 6, which was shared with him and someone else.
Did you see I can't remember. I think it was I'll find it in a second, but it was somebody's bum's out. It was on Go talk about something else. I'll find it.
Well, what I was going to say is right after that goal, Arsenal responded. City came out.
We rose our game big time. Yeah.
Really rose the game. Massive game again. Partey is fucking getting it done in the middle of the field right now.
He played very well. It was Mickey Quinn. I don't know who the badge is.
Right.
Who that badge is, but it was 92-93. His fewest matches to 10 goals in a season. Erling Haaland now holds the record by himself at 5. Yeah. Mickey Quinn was tied with him at 6 from last season.
Right.
Alan Shearer was on 9. Les Ferdinand, Mark Viduka, Diego Costa, Luis Suarez, Edin Dzeko, Papi Cisse, Mohamed Salah, and DCL. Actually,
I was going to say DCL's on that list.
We're all on 9, but Mickey Quinn tweeted. Because it is twitter.com. So he still tweeted, for fuck's sake, I wish Roy Keane would have tackled his dad in his bollocks and I would have still had 5 at Premier League records left. I'm pretty sure this is fake, but it's funny nonetheless.
So would it surprise anybody that both Arsenal goals came from set pieces, one unconventional and one conventional? The unconventional one would be the first one, where, frankly, City got caught sleeping, and City doesn't typically get caught sleeping. Specifically, Kyle Walker got caught sleeping.
Yeah, so now there is some controversy around this, and I understand the controversy. But between Kyle Walker and the match, was it Michael Oliver, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Michael.
But between Michael Oliver and Kyle Walker finishing their conversation, he does take a sweet-ass time to get back. And he's also still one of the quickest players in the league. So just run. I get it. He summoned you out of position. He summoned you over to talk to you about something that one of your players did as the captain. Fine. Gave a good 4, 5, 6 seconds before he blew the whistle for Arsenal to take the free kick.
Yeah.
And he was walking back to position, and that's your own fucking fault. But Calafiori scoring a goal as beautiful as he is a man. I mean, you can't beat it. That's the fucking Italian smooth, just gorgeousness.
It's funny because
it's a goal worthy of Tuscany, is what it is.
everybody was like, oh, did he mean to do that? Or was that a pass? No, he literally just passed it into the upper 90s is what he did. Like, it was the side of the foot. It was just like a perfectly well played.
But he did it with a little skip and his hair bobbed up. It was fucking gorgeous. Get in. He got his full sleeve of tattoos, his chiseled chin out for everyone to see. It was,
And with that, we knew it was game back on, right? And
the only thing that surprised me from this game, with everything that we're about to talk about in the next few minutes, was Calafiore. What he should have done was taken his fucking penis out and mushroom stamped Holland right on the forehead after he did what he did with that goal. That's the only thing that was missing from this game, honestly.
No, Sam, he plays for Arsenal. He would have seen a card for that. So second set piece, this is no surprise. Corner kick, Gabriel, back of the net, wide open header. Like, he ran a good lane, but still, you got to do fucking better, City.
Well, so City does this blend of man and zonal marking, right? So the first header, just a couple of minutes prior, was Doku, of all people, don't know why, trying to slow Gabriel up from getting but Doku's about, if I'm Gabriel, Doku would be here in the photograph of us together right now in the frame. If you know, why is he even trying to test Gabriel at all? There should be somebody else. So Kyle Walker was actually on this one, right? On the corner where the goal was scored. Now, Kyle Walker is battling with him a bit. He is holding him back. That's fine. But what Gabriel does, and I don't know if this is, kind of instilled from Mikel Arteta, or I don't know what they're doing, but I heard a pundit today, obviously the game happened yesterday. I saw somebody say that the way that he creates separation with a, kind of a jab step and a cut is akin to an NFL wide receiver. And once he has that separation, all he has to do is find the space between the two zones of the zonal marking people on the edge of the six, which he did to great effect. So Kyle Walker was giving him some shit. The way he jabbed, spun, whatever he did to get away from him and create that separation, he found himself that half a yard, and he exploited that half a yard, and he went, fuck you, boom.
Yeah. Right through it.
Almost threw my iPad out of the car. Driving to that 1-year-old birthday party because I was so excited.
So allow me to set the stage here. These two next remarks really don't need commentary. It's just to kind of set the stage. At some point in time in the first half, I don't remember exactly when, Jeremy Doku decided to kick a ball away for a free kick for Arsenal that, by the way, did not receive a yellow card for. This is just important to note. Then Trossard gets a yellow. Soft yellow, but it's a yellow nonetheless, grabbing Kyle Walker's wrist and then kind of grabbing a little bit of the jersey. There's a lot of that. And sometimes it gets called and sometimes it doesn't. It's like they say in NFL football, every play there's holding. It's just, when do you call holding?
Well, Sam, it's like kicking a ball away.
Right.
It's what it is. Similar to that. It's like when Arsenal players kick a ball away, it gets called. But when Arsenal players don't kick a ball away, it's the other team that does it. It doesn't get called.
And as
it's similar to the holding situation.
And as we're getting close to the end of the half, Trossard goes in on a 50-50 ball, but he kind of turns his back a little, whacks the City player pretty.
It's a foul. He hit Bernardo Silva in the middle of his back with his shoulder. It's a foul.
Whacked him pretty hard, and suddenly the ref immediately grabs for the card and shows a second yellow and sends him off, and all of us are sitting here going, that was mighty soft. I mean, yeah, Trossard, don't put yourself in a situation where the referee has to make a decision. We've said that 1,000 times. It's not gonna go over well. But Silva's back was to goal. It was in the middle of the field. It really had no impact. No reason to hit him. You're already on a yellow. Just let it fucking be. So half comes to an end. We're all just kind of amazed, right? And then we come to find out that no, it wasn't for a foul. It was because Trossard kicked the ball away. and received his second yellow, an offense that someone on the other team had done and didn't receive a yellow. And I mean, he just kind of like, it was almost acceptable when you thought it was a foul. It was like, okay, soft, but fuck that, don't give the ref
soft, but fine. Yeah.
Trossard's a bit of a mouth breather. You're a dodo. Fucking take your medicine. And then you hear it's for kicking a ball away, and you're like, again?
Yeah,
like,
because again? This one shouldn't have, yeah, because this one shouldn't have been called. This is bullshit. When Trossard's action of kicking the ball away is done, and I've seen the still photo of it, the whistle is still in Michael Oliver's mouth. Still holding the whistle in his mouth as Trossard strikes that ball. What I didn't know, and what you don't see from the still shots or the highlights, is he didn't hoof it away, actually. Okay. Martinelli is screaming down the left-hand side.
So it was actually a ball going towards an Arsenal player. When I saw it, it looked like he was just hoofing it away. So
because he's outside of the frame. We didn't see this on television. Martinelli's screaming down the left. But here's the other thing, and this is where I get really fucking pissed off. There is leeway to every fucking player on the face of the earth. If they are still in their mind playing the game, they don't get the you kick the ball away rule.
Mm-hmm.
He is running full pelt at that ball, 15 yards. That header. Michael Oliver still has the fucking whistle in his mouth. So you're going to tell me that millisecond supposed to stop that action as fast as he can, jumping to get a ball from a City player who is also running full pelt at the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, and Bernardo Silva, by the way, still on the fucking ground. Bernardo Silva, what free kick are you taking?
Right.
As a team. Bernardo Silva's still laying there milking it, trying to get him a second yellow anyway.
Right.
It's fucking bullshit is what it is. It is unacceptable. It is a clear and obvious bias, in my opinion. Something's got to be done about this stupid-ass fucking rule that they continually only apply to Arsenal players.
I equated it. Me and Rob were talking about this. This is to go back to the days of when we used to play indoor together. The reason why this show is called Drunkard United is we had a beer league team that played in a very competitive division, but we were called Drunkard United was the name of the team. And we would have this ref. His nickname was Chile. Jose was his first name. And every single season, Chile would find the rule. This was the rule he was going to call all the time. Only against us.
Yeah.
Against no one else. And he was happy with the blue cards real quick every single time it happened. That's exactly what right now, honestly, for Arsenal feels like. It's 2 times in 3 games, and it's just like, really? Because in both of those matches, the other team did the same thing and kicked the ball away and nothing happened. I mean, it's like, are the Premier League gods like in the fucking headphones of the fucking refs going, yeah, we can't let this shit stand. Let's make this more interesting and kind of see how Arsenal can handle it with 10 men for the entire second half.
Bro, it's just bullshit. It really honestly, it's just bullshit. Especially when you say Doku. When you look back at Doku in the first half, I'm sorry, excuse me, this is both in the first half. Just a few minutes after that, you look at Doku, referee, fair enough, is telling Arsenal to take the ball back to where it was, right? And this was something you said to me off air as we were discussing some of these decisions. You said, but Trossard, a player of that caliber, he's not going to hoof the ball on midfield like that. I said, number one, that shouldn't come into your thinking. Doesn't matter. Number 2, it's the proximity to the whistle is what matters, because how many of us have overran a ball, tried to slide to save it, blasted it fucking 40 yards or crossed it into the middle on a slide, but it was out of bounds? Kicking the ball away and delaying a restart?
Well, also in all fairness, you just need to agree with you 100%, and I'm not going to fucking do it.
So, but I'm trying to convince you that it's bullshit because it is.
You weren't going to convince me on Sunday, and you're not going to convince me now. I agree with you in the regards of that should have never been a yellow card in the first place. My opinion was he hoofed it the fuck away, and he knew exactly what he was doing. But for me,
you saw the frame, the television frame. I just dispelled that rumor.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with you. So that's all there is to it.
Just dispelled that rumor. It's true. It happened.
I'm not going to fucking agree with you. Get the fuck over it, okay? It's okay.
Even though I just proved it. That's fine.
That's fine. Prove whatever you need to prove. You feel better?
Because you're a cunt.
Okay, good. All right, now keeping it rolling. Going into the second half, here it is. Arsenal back against the wall, but they've got a 1-goal lead. And here's where I'm going to pay a ton of fucking compliments to your team. So settle the fuck down, sweetheart.
I won't.
This was an absolute masterclass of a 10-man defense. Gabriel and Saliba, particularly Gabriel, shut Haaland the fuck down. Haaland could not get to the ball. He could do nothing with the ball. The only times he got it, his back was to goal in the 18, and all he could do was pass it back out. This is where now, in fairness to City, this is where missing Rodri, who could crack one from 25 yards and make your defense stay honest, is not on the pitch. And Kevin De Bruyne, who's the guy who's probably going to pick that defense apart, isn't on the pitch. But you can only play the people that are on the fucking field. And that team has 3 teams of fucking starters on their fucking roster.
But
Arsenal played brilliantly.
With them, I don't think they'd have cracked it.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because the space that we allowed wasn't crackable, if that makes sense.
Kai Havertz ran his dick off for no good reason other than to try to preserve that lead.
It was a perfect 10-man drill.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
10-man drill.
That is something I can agree 100% with you on.
It was. You should be able to agree the other point too.
Uh-huh.
It was a. I mean, you're basically watching Fox News over there, is what you're doing, because you're only seeing what you want to see. Fucking tunnel vision. Anyway.
Well, I heard they're eating the cats and dogs in your
things were happening outside, right? That was Haitians, not Belgians. You can't bring this in on Trossard, is all I'm saying.
Allegedly.
That's actually proven not the case.
I just have to cover my bases.
No, the bases are covered because that we know it's not true because we see outside the frame. Sam only sees X. Is all he does.
Mr. Graham, we are to the second half. Let's continue talking about that.
Anyway, it was the perfect 10-man drill. It was the best ever I've ever seen of a defense assessing who was a threat.
Right.
You notice when Ruben Dias had the ball on the edge of the box, challenging Trossard for that ball, that same player, Ruben Dias, when he was on the edge of the box, Arsenal didn't really step to him. He's not known for cracking a ball from 20 yards out. The one time he did, about 15 yards wide. Yeah. About 15 yards wide and about 20 yards high. It was terrible.
That for me was one difference, because if that's Rodri, it's probably on target, right? But you're also probably in his face.
You're stepping on him, right? So when Doku got the ball, when Grealish came on and Grealish got the ball, when whoever else, Silvino, whatever his name is, when these guys got the ball, Arsenal shifted, a player stepped out, tried to tackle him, tried to contain him, tried to do whatever. And then the ball was shifted and moved around again. It was that they did a fantastic job. Perfect example is Gvardiol, Jacko Gvardiol.
Mm-hmm.
Been known to strike a ball.
Right.
He got the ball as a left back. He stepped out to him. When Ruben Dias had the ball, we didn't have to. We stayed with our men who were the danger.
Right.
You want to shoot? Fucking go for it, mate.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because David Raya probably has it covered.
He made a couple of brilliant saves too. He played.
He made a couple of brilliant saves, and so comparatively, right? If we're gonna compare these 10-man drills that we've done, Brighton, I'm a bit more proud, I guess. Boys, initial reaction kind of feeling as I compare those two things. And I told you this yesterday, 2 hours after the game when we spoke.
Right.
Because when you get out of 10 men, you have to adjust everything you're doing, right? It's very easy as you make those adjustments to get caught. And we got caught. Brighton drew level
right
as we were adjusting our tactics. Right. This game, we had halftime as a benefit. We come out and we are fucking, this is what we're doing, fucking hard nose, full metal jacket. We're going after it. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And
good subs with fresh legs in the right spots. Everybody
exactly
did their job, and they did it very well. And unfortunately, Mr. Graham, what ends up happening is in the 96th minute, we're right at the end of the death.
Yeah.
It's not so much that you guys did anything right. The ball just fell to the right spot at the right time to the right.
Yeah, I mean, we got a block on it. There was a shot that came in. We got a block on it. It fell to the wrong person. And David Raya, to be fair to him, almost pulled off the greatest save in history.
Yeah, I mean, it's
laying on his back and threw a leg up, and it just deflected off the wrong part of his leg and still went in the net.
Yeah.
But Gabriel, I think it would always feel like he's got to get in front of this ball.
Yeah.
It hits him kind of on the rib cage and shoots over to John Stones, who was on the edge of the six, and fired another shot in off that rebound. The reason this feels more like a loss, more of a disappointment than the Brighton game to finish that point is lateness.
Yeah, it was 30 seconds. The match was over. You clear that and the whistle's probably getting blown.
Yeah, and so Brighton, we held on for 36 minutes, I think it was, after they scored their equalizer. Here, we did the holding on the entire time.
Yeah.
And then got fucking stabbed. And that's the part that makes it a bit more disappointing just on that initial reaction. That's what hurts my feelings, if that makes sense.
But what's even funnier
But this is a more important point, by the way. Right. I'm not discounting that. It just, as a team, this is a more important point for us to not lose to City.
Right.
Is more important than drawing Brighton, right?
Well, and you also showed City, we can shut you down.
Oh, yeah.
We can shut you down.
But it just had me in my feels more.
Yeah.
The lateness of the goal. And that's what football will do to you.
So a little offshoot thing that happened that nobody really noticed. And shout out to producer Mel, who
I saw it immediately.
I saw it when it happened.
Who right after the goal looks at me and goes, did Erling Haaland just throw the ball in the back of an Arsenal player's head?
Yeah.
And why, yes, he fucking did.
Which fucking weird that none of the video replays showed it. They conveniently cut every single one before that.
Sam, if somebody threw a ball at another player, what is typically the outcome of that?
That is normally a straight red card for violent conduct. Unless it's one of those, it's their throw in. I just give it a little extra mustard when I give it to you.
Right.
But on a dead ball like that,
deliberately
it's a neutral dead ball. I'm not paying attention. You hit me with it.
The back of the other player's head going directly at him with two hands and throwing it right into their
head. Had a shirt over their head.
Uh-huh.
I've gotten a yellow card at Soccer Dome, speaking of Chile. Uh-huh. I've gotten a yellow card at Soccer Dome for a player that was challenging my throw-in. I got the ball from them. It was our ball. He turned around and walked away. I threw the ball at his back. Touch another player before I can touch it, which was the point.
Right.
Everyone ahead of me wasn't moving enough. I wanted to restart quickly. I threw the ball in the back of him. Drops back to me. I passed it across the field. Whistle gets blown. Yellow card. You can't do that. Yeah, I can. Why can't I? What are you talking about?
You can't.
But it got cold on me. Sure did.
Here's the interesting thing, Sam. The good thing is that we have this this system now, that checks and balances for when there's an egregious error called VAR to help take care of this. No discussion of it until after the match, and we come to find out that after the match, apparently VAR looked at it, and what was their ruling, Mr. Graham?
They basically said the VAR saw it, despite the match official missing it. The VAR saw it, decided it was not violent conduct, and so they're happy with the decision that there can now be no retroactive punishment because somebody at the ground who was in charge saw it.
And right after that, off the kickoff, what did Erling Haaland do right after that?
He went and barreled over Gabriel, who, to be fair, I think did the same thing Rodri did and stepped in front of him. Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, could have been a yellow to Gabriel for impeding the run.
The whistle blows, the game is over, and then he's in Gabriel's face, he's in Jesus's face, and then he's in Arteta's face talking about being humble.
He was in Arteta's face first. Well, I think he was in Gabriel's face first. Comes over, looks at Arteta, goes, "Be humble, yeah," and slaps him on the back. And Arteta turned around, I was like, "Who the fuck are you, young buck?"
Yeah.
Like that. And then Gabriel steps up. Gabriel Jesus steps up and goes, he was like, "What are you talking? Why are you talking shit?" Kind of like that, you know. There was kerfuffle prior to that, though, where I think it was Ethan, maybe it was Lewis Kelly, maybe, was kind of backing him up from Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
He slaps his hand down and goes, "Who are you?" Being a young player.
Hey, producer Mel, you had a thought?
Well, did we lose Graham?
No, he's here.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, I lost your audio for a moment. No, I was just, are we witnessing Haaland's heel turn?
Ooh, a little wrestling reference there.
Oh, to what, villain? To cunt face?
Yeah, I would.
He started as a villain.
He's always
Did
been
he?
He was always that guy in Germany when he played for Dortmund.
Was he?
He would mock people all the time. Yeah, he'd mock fans and stuff. But
did the general public know that though?
And Graham, I'm not sure if you remember this one. The match where Everton drew City about 3 years ago. I think it was under Lampard. Right. No, it might have still been Rafa. It was Lampard because it was right before he got fired. The 0-0 draw, the 1-1 draw, and in that one, he very early on, like he went sliding through on a hard tackle on Pickford outside the box, like studs up into his like high thigh, and all he got was a yellow card for it. You're just kind of like, are we starting to witness the not so nice guy fucking Haaland here, Mr. Graham?
Yeah, so I don't think Haaland's a nice guy. I think he's a bit of a knob. I also think Haaland is going to be judged at the pearly gates in a negative fashion. Is what I'm saying. I also am reminded before I finish that thought, I am going to remind you about an Arsene Wenger quote that came up a lot over the last 24 hours, and that was, "When I am to be judged, I'm going to ask God what he did with the referees before I choose whether I go to heaven or hell."
Very good.
Where did they go? And then I'm going to pick the other one, essentially, is what Arsene Wenger said. But to close out my kind of thoughts on this game, really about Erling Haaland, and I am going to be a bit crass. Mel, it's not intentional. Please don't take offense to it. It is intentional. I don't mean any offense by this. The characters in the play that I'm about to paint for you are not at fault. This is just a part of life. Erling Haaland, when he retires, he says, and he may retire early, he says, he wants to go chop wood on his farm in Norway and live with his goats and live with his donkeys and do whatever he wants to do, wanking in the woods. whatever that all may be. I prefer the Jack Grealish life, which is drink booze, wear your flip-flops on the wrong feet, maybe forget one at a party from time to time, fuck bitches and get after it. And I think when the two of them get up to the pearly gates, God goes, I gave you all these things. Jack Grealish, you accepted them. Get in. Erling Haaland, you chopped wood. Fuck off.
And hey, you like Home Alone too. I do as well. All right, Mr. Graham, we're going to need to make sure we kind of keep to the point and keep it rolling for these next two segments, because I wanted to give that game the brevity it deserved.
I thought we were rehashing Trossard's pass to Gabriel Martinelli. No,
Yes.
we're not sticking to the point. We're moving on.
We are moving.
Oh, God. All right.
We're moving on. Now we turn our attention to 4 matches where all 8 clubs have us scratching our heads, wondering, are they contenders for Europe or just mid-table pretenders? Chelsea 3, West Ham 0, Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0, Fulham 3, Newcastle 1, Forest 2, Brighton 2. Chelsea, Jackson with a brace, Palmer goal. This could have been so much more. I mean, they could, and I know I don't want us to keep saying the same thing, which is Maresca has picked his lineup and this is who he's going to work with. It seems like Maresca's figured out his rotation as well. And it feels like all of the guys know what they're fucking doing. It looks like they're starting to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, but there's the thing, isn't it? Right? And it is beating a dead horse to an extent. It is picking your line. It's picking your 25.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of, this is who I'm working with. I can't have 45 players in this squad. This does not work. It is not sustainable. So he fucked off some important people.
Yep. And
he's now with us, right? I mean, but that is the antithesis to what Todd Bowley wants. But it's also working now.
Yeah.
If you can get a point across to a smaller group of people, that happens.
Well, and like I said, it seems like his rotations are working too. It seems like he's subbing the right people. Those people know their place. Those people also are competing for spots. So if Nicholas Jackson decides this week I'm scoring a brace and then I'm not going to score for 5 weeks, you know what? He'll put fucking somebody else in. Now,
I have a question for you about Nico.
Yeah.
Last season, obviously, we saw a ton of offsides.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously still quite young, Nico Jackson. We saw a fair few goals from him, but this season, much like actually kind of Haaland, which we've already mentioned about the sophistication level of his finishes has gone up this season. Nico seems a bit more calm.
Yeah, he does. He does.
A bit more, not finesse. That's not the right word. Composed, I guess, would be better. A bit more composed about his finishing. Do you think that sticks?
I don't know. I honestly,
the corner or
I honestly don't know. He's too young to make that prediction. I will say the following: he's got the right people feeding him the fucking ball. With
Cole Palmer's finish as well was fucking brilliant.
With Palmer and Enzo, and Caicedo finally seems to be getting his role with this team and starting to bet in. Like it's working. It's working. Now on the other side, the Irons. This is in your building, and yes, this is a very good team. But if you are both teams that are quote unquote competing for the European spots, right? You're the ones that are going to be looking at playing in Europe. You need to come out with this with a point, maybe even all 3. And if you're going to lose, you lose
respectably.
You look like you had a chance. They never had a chance. They look like utter and complete dog shit.
Yeah, but the West Ham fans we know are very happy losing with sleeker football until the final third. So if that's what they want, fucking good on them. You get what you wish for.
Exactly what I was about to get to. Sam Allardyce manages this team. They're in 8th place. They're doing fine. Everything's going well. They want to go.
Fuck Sam Allardyce.
David
Moyes.
Let me say it all here. I'm going to give you the whole rundown because this has happened time after time after time with West Ham. Sam Allardyce got him going well, got him purring. They're working well. It's just not attractive football. So they go to Billick. And Billick did okay, but it never
Billick did fine, yeah.
But it never worked. So then they go to David Moisiola, the first time, the first time. And he settles it down and they get back to being right where they need to be, kind of fighting for Europe, just missing out, but it's not pretty enough football. So they go to Pellegrini. And then that doesn't work. And then they go back to Moyes, who, by the way, wins you a fucking European trophy. By the way, something that the two teams in North London would fucking kill for. You've never gotten one, and Spurs hasn't won a trophy in for fucking ever. And
Listen, I don't want to win that Looney Tunes Cup.
Here's West Ham. Here's West Ham winning fucking Europe, and that's not good enough. We need attractive football. So you bring in Lopetegui, and you do this, and you do this. This is what you show your fans at home. And like you said, other than Smokey being fucking angry as hell about it, they seem to be okay with it. They're like, well, at least we're playing attractive football.
Well, what was nice?
Big fucking place, man.
What was nice here is when Cole Palmer's goal went and then went 3-0 down, there was a mass exodus at the stadium. So Smokey's on an island by himself, in my opinion.
Oh no, he was happy about it. He's furious about it.
It doesn't seem like it. He seems pretty happy. To be honest. At least we had this. He defended him because I said #Moyes in. And he went back at me and it showed me their stats, which I just provide to you, the win-loss column.
There is a delay between the chat and the pod. And as you're doing your rant, before he heard it, he typed in, "Will be okay soon enough. Moyes' defense let in the most goals in our history. They need time to gel and learn the new style."
Right.
Moyes' defense finished in a European place. Moyes' defense won a European trophy. Moyes' defense didn't get you relegated. The last 3 times you've had attacking style managers, you have been relegated.
We just mentioned we just mentioned where it all went wrong for him.
Yeah, but Areola basically was a doorman. Just come right in. It's not a problem. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That was the one problem. But then West Ham just looked disinterested. They didn't look like they knew what was going on necessarily. I don't think they understand the tactics. I'm not normally one to bring this up, and this is my last point. I know you gave me the wrap it up sign. My last point about this is I don't normally comment on managers' dress. To be completely honest, I think it's funny sometimes. Like Thomas Tuchel would kind of do a stop, drop, and roll through the club shop, and then whatever he came out with, that's what he wore on the touchline.
Right.
But which is funny, but I don't really care. It's not, like a thing of mine. Lopetegui was dressed like it was casual Friday at his corporate office, and the team played like it was fucking casual Friday at his corporate office on a bank holiday weekend.
That is a quick way to end it, sir.
It's terrible. On the Chelsea side of things, my friend, I don't know if they've turned a corner. I find it strange that Enzo Maresca was cheering a goal. Not a single assistant coach came to hug him.
Yeah.
Which always tends to happen. I think that's kind of strange.
Same team that only could beat Bournemouth 1-0. So, I mean, we don't know.
I know, but I also think that I think Enzo might be more of a pervert than Pep.
So here's why I titled that section the way it is, because each one of these teams we look at and we go, huh? Really?
Yeah.
Huh? What? We still just don't know. So moving on to the next one with Manchester United and Crystal Palace, there's really very little to say about this game. It was very drab, except for idiots like me who are goalkeepers who loved watching Henderson dominate the first half with a bunch of amazing saves. He ended up with ultimately 6 saves. And Onana in the second half ended up with 4, including the back-to-back save that, frankly, was flat out fucking brilliant.
It wasn't as good as David Raya's in midweek in the Champions League, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
But it was still very good.
Mm-hmm.
He did not point to a spot and go shoot it here and then dive the other way this time.
Mm-hmm.
He learned his lesson, which was nice. But this was obviously the tale of two crossbars from Manchester United's perspective. A fantastic take and hit in kind of one fluid motion from Garnacho. Just a touch too high after it carooned off the turf and hit the crossbar. And a player of Bruno Fernandez's quality, if we're going to bring that up again about players' quality and whether or not they kick the ball away, is Bruno Fernandez should be hitting the target there.
Yeah.
Should have been a 1-0 United win based on that, because Dean Henderson was in the middle of fucking nowhere after Garnacho's. He attempted to save Garnacho's shot.
Right.
But instead, it hits the crossbar again. And Bruno Fernandes is better than that, period.
Oh, yeah. Got to make that goal. Gotta.
Just didn't. Other than that, the rest of the game was actually quite cagey.
Yeah.
It was a lot more of a chess match. It was a chess match between two people learning how to play chess.
That's a good way to put it. Here's the thought, and as I said, going back to what the whole crux of this segment is about, is two teams where you go, huh, right? Manchester United are in 11th fucking place, right? This is not good enough right now. You know what they're good enough to be, and under this style of play with Ten Hag, they're good enough to be a team that probably makes the McRib Cup.
Mm-hmm.
That's simply not good enough for Manchester United.
Well, all you got to do is get David Moyes in, and you win it.
This does not rub me as a team that's going to be battling for a Champions League spot, right? I have more faith in Spurs doing it than I do Manchester United. I have more Villa doing it than I do Manchester United.
Here's the other thing about United, right? They bring on Rasmus Højlund. Granted, he's coming back from injury. Fine, fair, no problem. Did he even trouble the Palace back line?
And not at all. Not one bit.
And this is Manchester fucking United we're talking about.
And,
versus Crystal fucking Palace.
And here,
Rasmus Højlund, trouble the back line.
No, not at all.
Eddie Nketiah and Mateta both did.
Yeah, exactly.
Palace are in a better spot than United currently.
And here's my argument to that. They still haven't won a fucking game yet.
And that's fair.
And went, you know what? There's a lot of talent. They lost some pieces, but they got some pieces. They had a really good deadline day. This looks like a really decent team. They ain't won a fucking game yet, Sam. They could be in the drop zone if any of the teams in the drop win next week, especially considering Everton play Palace at Everton, a place where Everton loves to shit on Crystal Palace. Like, they could suddenly find themselves again without a win and in the fucking drop zone. And this is, again, the whole point of this segment. You're just like, what the fuck? Like, who is like, This is a team that I guarantee you both of us had listed as our dark horse this year.
Of these teams, I'm still holding that faith is my point.
Yeah.
Of these teams in that bottom kind of 6 or 7, of those teams, I feel the best about Palace of those teams.
Yeah. Now,
I think they'll figure it out once they get it moving. Once they get it going, I think they'll figure it out. I think Adam Wharton's got a little fatigue. Never been involved in an England team before at a major tournament, obviously. It was his first call up this summer. I think he'll figure it out. He had a couple of good moments. I think Will Hughes, actually, coming off the bench, had a couple of really good moments as well. I think Palace will figure it out. I really do. They've got Eze. I mean, he's got the keys to unlock the box. You know what I mean?
So,
and he's really good at football.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So keep it rolling,
lads.
Fulham and Newcastle. Fulham's offense is really starting to click, and they're missing Munoz. And you know what? Jimenez is getting it done. He's scoring goals. Do we really think Smith Rowe is really kind of the thing that making it click now?
I mean, they needed a creative player, absolutely. I mean, if you look to a left-footed Scottish player, your main playmaker, where's the number 10 for the club? Tom Kearney. Right. And I'm not discounting his abilities as a footballer, but if your main attacking threat and creative force is a Scottish player with a left foot, you're in fucking trouble, to be honest with you.
Yeah, precisely.
So Emil Smith-Rowe is the creativity they needed, absolutely. They should have won this by more. Alex Iwobi should have scored.
Oh, yeah.
They got Reece Nelson from Arsenal as well, because apparently us and Fulham are fucking butt buddies now.
Mm-hmm.
Reece Nelson scored after a terrible, I believe it was was it Lewis Kelly?
Bad
The
play.
passed him the ball. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I keep it rolling.
It was somebody like that. Yeah, but whoever it was gave him the ball at the 18, but great finish. Smith Rowe with a toe poke. I think that just caught the goalkeeper off guard. And the first goal is the one that wins the game, right? The first goal is it. A fantastic chest down from Jimenez. Swivel, strike first time on a half volley. Absolutely fucking phenomenal goal from Raul Jimenez. And kind of recapturing what looked like the form he had at Wolves, to be honest with you. So if they can do that with Muniz off the bench, because Muniz
he's hurt right now.
I know. I'm saying, but if Raul recaptures that Wolves form properly, like he scored now 2 weeks in a row for the first time in a Fulham shirt.
Right.
If he recaptures that form that he had at Wolves, where he was scoring, 16 goals a season or whatever it was, and then you have that threat. If it's not working, Muniz comes off the bench, who started so brilliantly for Fulham in the last season and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've got that double threat, 1-2 punch. Kind of if this guy doesn't get it done, we bring this guy in with fresh legs, and they're fucked. That's a hefty, important piece for Fulham, and I think they could do something special there. So Newcastle.
Hold on.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Make this remark and then transition to Newcastle. We say all of this about Fulham. They're the same team that just drew Ipswich last week. Yeah,
I mean, fair enough.
So again, you're left with those questions of who the fuck are they really, right?
But that kind of like the United result at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. Fulham should have won that game.
Right? Absolutely.
It was the goal, which is I understand your point. It lends credence to your point.
Right.
But if Jimenez can keep this going, if he can find that Wolves form that he had, Fulham very much could be a force to be reckoned with.
Very good offense, that's for sure. They've improved greatly. Now, going on to Newcastle just never fucking showed up, to be quite honest.
They started really, really well. That Joe Linton passage of play was great. The shot, the undershot of the crossbar, bang, we're in front. Everybody's excited. Flag goes up. And then they looked disinterested for about the rest of the game, except for that Harvey Barnes masterclass of cutting inside.
Pope's got to have that second goal. That hit him right in the dead of the hand. Got to have that. You got to have that.
That's true. So I'm caught between two worlds here, right? ESR's goal was fortunate, but it was also good. I think he hits it when Pope's not expecting it. Like I said with Holland's goal. Right. Like I said with one of Nico Jackson's goals, right? I think he hits it way earlier than the goalkeeper's prepared for. Now, that being said, Nick Pope got his palm to it, the entire palm to it.
The entire palm got to it. That's just a way.
It wasn't hard enough. It wasn't a strong enough hand.
Yeah.
And it kind of dribbled into the back of the net. But I think he was absolutely caught off guard by what ESR did and the quickness with which he took the goal. And it was a toe poke. Yeah. It was a toe poke, which you've gotten, I'll remind you, beaten on a lot of times.
Oh, yeah. But I would also tell you I should have.
Fair enough.
And final point on Newcastle, and then I want to get to the final game and then get on to Oso, because we're already at an hour, Grammy, so I want to kind of keep it going. And again, I knew this was going to go long. This was a bad loss, a bad first loss of the season for Newcastle. It's one that leaves you more questions than answers. And frankly, they're 3-1-1. It ain't a convincing 3-1-1. It really isn't. It has not been pretty. Now, I think there's all the talent in the world of this team, and we've already talked about how they've been handcuffed to not be able to spend any money at all because the way PSR works. And it was funny how it didn't work it didn't even exist for Chelsea back in the 90s, and it certainly didn't exist for City in the early 2010 time. Like, so it's what it is, but in the same regards, like, Eddie, your boy's got to be playing better, man. Like, the record's fine, but you're going to get shown pretty quickly, and your next match is City, and City going to be angry.
I'm surprised I haven't seen Almiron more this season from them. He's been sort of the focal point in terms of stretch and play until Anthony Gordon came in, and he got that injury last season. he's been sort of the focal point for stretching defenses and the leader of the counterattack, if you will, from Newcastle. And I haven't seen him featured once this season. Have you? I don't know that he's played yet.
So honestly,
I haven't heard his name called yet this season by a single commentator.
Sure, Billy. We're going on to the next game, but you're watching, so chime in if Almiron has gotten minutes yet. I honestly don't know. It all kind of blurs at times when you're watching all the games.
Of course, I think that plays I think that's a big piece of what they're missing, if that's the case.
Keeping it going on to the last game. This was a game that jokingly we all kind of thought it's going to be a nothing burger. It's the game before the real game, which is City Arsenal, and it's kind of a forgotten. This game was fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
This game was absolutely bonkers. And if this was any other week, this game would have opened the fucking show.
Yeah.
It was a batshit crazy game. Forest get a penalty, a little iffy.
It's a bit soft.
Looked like Hudson had into the foul.
I understand why they gave it. We did this a lot last season. Where an offensive player steps in front of the ball with no intention of playing the ball. Just trying to get in the way of the defender and gets given a penalty for it. We did this a lot last season.
Real quick, Mel, you got it for us?
Yeah, sure. Billy said he did. Second half, first match of the triple switch.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Now, Wood gets the pen. Seagulls answer with 2 right at the end of the half.
That's a great penalty, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But then Welbeck's goal off that free kick.
Oh, come on.
Oh, how is
it? Now that it's a great shot, but as a goalkeeper, I want you to talk about Matt Sells and his positioning because it is absolutely fucking terrible. The wall is covering the right side of the goal.
You cover the left side.
You're supposed to cover the left side. How do you get tree trunk?
You go across the goal and make the right-handed save because that's the easier dive to make, and you make the shooter go to the right side, not the left side. So yeah, he was out of position completely.
Totally it's terrible. But Hinselwood's header, Hinselwood's header was fantastic.
Perfect header.
Fucking talking about 20 years old or whatever he is, very young, no matter what. Headed the ball back from whence it came, which is textbook, but the way he rose all of these fucking real grown men, fucking 20 years old, and just absolutely powered that header in the far side. It was a little bit behind him, and the power he still generated was absolutely fantastic.
So then Forest level in the second half, even though it seems like Brighton are pushing. Gibbs White gets his first yellow. And then Gibbs White gets a yellow. Gibbs White commits a foul, and it's a foul that's worth looking at, right? But he definitely got the ball, and it was definitely a hard tackle, but he really did come through with the ball first. And it was the follow through that got the man. And it's not VAR that decided it was a second yellow 45 seconds later. It was the ref because the coaches on the sideline were yelling to him. It seemed like the weirdest fucking second yellow ever. Almost, honestly, funny, a precursor to what would end up happening to Arsenal later in the day. And then it's not even Gibbs White's getting sent off. Nuno gets sent off. You expect that because he's fucking furious. Like, why are you making a decision after?
He was swinging a big finger.
Oh, and he's completely right to, and that's where when you make
we saw all of his gums.
When you make a reference to baseball, when a manager gets thrown out, you're getting thrown out for your team. You're getting thrown out for the point, right? And that's exactly what Nuno did.
Yep.
I'm getting thrown out because I'm making a fucking point. But then I had to keep forgetting his name, the youngest manager in England right now, the fucking Brighton manager, he gets a red card. I'm like, how does he get a red card when he was the one arguing for the second yellow? And next thing, it's both managers get sent off. Gibbs White gets sent off. And then you kind of watch the rest of the game, and there wasn't a ton left, but it's like, Brighton, you're at home. You're supposed to be one of the teams battling for Europe, and you're playing against a team that is certainly playing above their weight class right now, and they've had a very good start to the season, but you got to find a way to win that fucking game. You got your people on the pitch. You got Pedro and Welbeck on the pitch. You need to find a fucking goal. How do you not find a fucking goal? Especially considering Forest is all at 6s and 7s because their manager's gone. They're fucking their playmaker on the pitch, arguably their best player on the pitch, is gone. It's fucking chaos, and it's like, how do you not come away with that? Like,
it's Fabian Hutzler.
Sorry, thank you.
Yes. So this is a little to unpack here, right? This is players of our age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm the end of that generation, but I put these tackles in. This is the proper old football men tackle.
Right.
Fabian Hutzler is younger than me.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Nuno, everyone is correct. White got the ball. That is true. But we have seen in this new age of football in the last, 8-9 years, the follow through can get you carded anyway, can get a foul called against you anyway.
But VAR would have looked at that foul and said, "Hey, we think it's more. We think that's a harder."
Well, but VAR, it's not a straight red because he gets the ball.
Right.
VAR is out of play.
Shouldn't take the ref 45 seconds to decide it's a second yellow card.
He shouldn't need the fourth official.
Right.
The referee made a poor choice.
And he was looking right at the play. The fourth official is completely across the field because it was on the other side of the field that it happened.
It was right in front of the benches. It was not across the field. It was right in front of the benches.
My apologies. But still, the ref had a clear look at it. Like,
yes, he
why
did.
Did it 45 seconds?
Well, because Anthony Taylor makes it about himself. The referee says initially he got the ball to a Forest player. He got the ball. That's what he said. Now, a fairer decision probably have been just give a free kick for the follow through. Yeah, probably. But again, he kind of made a scissor motion with his legs.
Right.
The time that I lost my 4-year scholarship, I made this tackle and received a yellow for it.
Right. Right.
The ball, but I scissored. I also spun. I broke that dude's ankle. He walked for 3 months and never played again. But I was given a yellow card for the follow through. That is a thing.
Right.
Unfortunately, nowadays, it's a fair tackle. I think it's fine. Is there something wrong with it? No, I don't. My life would probably be totally different had I not been given a yellow for that.
Sure thing. Al Bundy getting 4 touchdowns in one game.
I'm just saying.
High school.
I was branded a hothead because of what I did, and I lost my offer of a scholarship to UMBC.
Not it. Now,
so this is what happens, though, right? And is it a bad decision? Not necessarily. Does it look bad because he didn't make the decision himself? Absolutely. And this is Pugmole being fucking idiots again. Yeah. Just ref the game. Just ref the game. Don't think VAR exists. If VAR needs to step in, they'll step in. Just ref the fucking game.
Yeah. Now, final thought. We mentioned, for Brighton, this is a game you got to win at home, right? And if you're going to be one of those teams battling for Europe, that's what you have to do. Forest ain't lost the game yet, by the way, everybody. They still haven't lost. And for me, it kind of feels like this is a well-oiled Nuno team. This is like Wolves when they're just right in the thick of it, doing their thing. I personally don't think this has longevity. I think they're going to get found out. But as of right now, this team ain't lost a fucking game.
It depends if Mariakis keeps supporting him, right? If he keeps supporting him, then this is sustainable, right? I think you're thinking of Wolves, right? It started all guns blazing, won the championship, fucking rolling. Comes into the Premier League, fucking rolling a bit, right? Goes on a bit of a slide. right? Because it's a newly promoted club. Then finishes the season strong. Now they're challenging for Europe. Then they settled into a couple of years of just being solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the end where he wanted to leave. Shit. And they got relegated and he got the Tottenham job.
No, they didn't get relegated. They stayed up. They almost.
Well, you're okay. Yeah, fair enough. He got fired and then they got relegated.
No, they have not been relegated since they've come back up. Wolves have not been relegated.
Oh yeah, no, they were very close though. It was on the cusp. Then he got the Tottenham job.
Yeah.
And all these players looked at him and went, "Who the fuck are you?" And they played like shit, and he got fired after 4 games.
Yeah.
Right. So I think you're thinking of solid Wolves. That middle bit.
Yeah.
You're looking at.
Yep.
I think it is sustainable so long as Mariakis stays on board, and that's the key. Is their owner is a fucking madman.
He's a madman, much like all 8 of these teams. We still have no fucking clue. They're all fucking.
He's insane. I think Wolves are Forest are safe. I think Forest probably not challenged for Europe, but I think they're safe. I think they're comfortably safe. I think they're probably 11th and 12th. I don't think it's a problem. I think Mariakis, if he gets involved again, Forest season could fall apart.
Yep. We are at an hour 15, Mr. Graham. So rounding out the rest of the league, really, and so that happened. Villa 3, Wolves 1, Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0, Spurs 3, Brentford 1, Southampton 1, Ipswich 1, Everton 1, Leicester 1, Monsoon 5. Another comeback for Villa and another Duran goal, but this time you got another Watkins goal. This is a good problem to have. Both of your strikers are scoring goals.
Yeah, I also think that when Wolves scored, right, it was a bad piece of play from Villa. It was a sloppy giveaway. Cunha, fantastic shot, kissed off the left side of the post. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Great goal. I put $10 on Villa to win the game.
Oh, yeah. You're like, yep, Villa's going to win this one.
They're at home. They're a better team, and they showed it. The class rose to the top.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, obviously you had Watkins, you had Duran, like you said. And then I forget who the third goal came from, to be honest with you.
Oh, that guy who we thought got transferred, Mr. Graham, Leon Bailey.
No, it was Leon Bailey. You're right. Yeah, no, he was injured. He didn't transfer. He was injured. Yeah. But it was just
here's another thing. If somebody like Emi Buendia if Emi Martinez was injured, you know who'd be playing? Olsen, the backup for fucking Villa, not the backup for Everton like last week. They're stud.
Fair enough. All right. Whatever. What was his name?
Robin Olsen is the backup. For Everton, it's Yao Virginia and it's Begovic.
Robin Olsen used to be on your team?
Yes, back when it was Carlo Ancelotti, stud.
Thank you. Okay, all right. So I blended 3 years ago with now. That's fine. The life of an alcoholic. What do you want from me?
Here is something to look at right now that's interesting is guess who isn't bottom of the table anymore? Everton on goals for. Guess who is bottom of the table now?
Wolves.
Wolves are in fucking dead last. They need to sort out their defense in a fucking hurry. Everything that they were doing for Gary O'Neill last year, they're not doing this year.
Well, they don't have Max Kilman.
Is that big of a loss? And you got to say, yes, it is right now.
I never thought I would say the sentence that Max Kilman was the key to keeping a team in the Premier League. But apparently he is.
Now, moving on to Liverpool and Bournemouth. Sorry, Cherries, you were just going to be the unlucky recipient of the next team that came to Anfield. But
that's not how it started.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's not how it started.
Semenyo scored in like 4 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it was. He was literally a fucking stud offside.
Yeah.
And I think this game could have gone differently had that happened.
Now,
because it happened, Liverpool went, okay, wake up, fucking don't do this again. And they didn't do it again.
It was a great answer from the Reds. And very simply put, this game could have been fucking like a Southampton. It could have been a 9-0.
It could have been a lot more, yeah.
It wasn't for Kepa's 8 fucking saves. Kepa kept
which is very funny because I think he's at direct fault for 2 of these 3 goals.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree, but he was also
still made 8 saves. Luis Diaz's first one, especially.
Yeah.
He calls the defender off and then hesitated, which allowed Diaz to steal in and do his first goal.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I want to mention from this game, honestly, because Liverpool dominated the majority of it, right? After that initial 3 minutes, whatever it was, I forgive me. Liverpool pretty much ran proceedings the entire time, which you would expect them to do. Darwin Nunez should have passed the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky it went in the back of the net, because if it didn't, and I was Jota or Diaz, whoever it was on the 2 people running the far post, I would have fucking headbutted him in the locker room when I saw him as soon as the final whistle went. But that's what you get from Nunez. You don't expect it because nobody should be doing it.
Right.
Yet he does it.
Yep.
About 12% of the time it actually comes off.
Captain fucking Chaos at his best. Spurs respond despite the Bees going up early yet again in the first fucking minute.
Now, this was, if you've ever done a scale model of a goal.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in school, you're in, I don't know, 2nd grade, and you've got to build a scale model of the Eiffel Tower. Probably going to look like shit because you're in 2nd grade. Makes sense?
Yeah.
This goal from Brentford, from Bryan Mbeumo, 23 seconds, which was only bettered by last week's Wisa goal of 22 seconds.
Right.
This Mbeumo goal was a 2nd grade scale model of that very famous Zinedine Zidane goal against Bayern Leverkusen in the Champions League final.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He did that, picked the ball out of the air with his left foot into the top corner, hit both posts, bang, it's in, right? Problem is the ball was only about as high as his head, and it came in from about 7 yards to the left.
The big thing
was from the corner flag, Roberto Carlos, and it carooned up 100 yards in the air, and he picked it out from the edge of the 18, and it didn't touch a post. It just nestled in the top corner, sexy-like. So this fantastic start, and then Spurs, again, just woke up.
Yeah, which is they needed this. That was the response they needed. This has been the normal Spursy thing to do would be to fuck this game off. The one thing I think that's worth noting for Brentford is last year when they didn't have Tony, the 2 were up there, Wisa and Mbeumo, and Mbeumo got injured early, and then later on Wisa got injured early. Well, Wisa just got injured, and you start to wonder, oh fuck, is this gonna happen again? Yep. You like
I'm starting to worry for Brentford a little bit. To be honest with you,
you don't need Tony if both of them are healthy. The problem is neither one of them are ever fucking healthy.
Right. The one question I do have for you though here is Spurs obviously take the rest of the game pretty much in charge, where Brentford, they've had chances here or there throughout the game. Ange has been one of those managers that has not had a plan B. He's been one of those, like, we should just do plan A better.
Right.
Is that going to come bite him in the ass? In this instance, it's worked.
Yeah. Yes, but it will. And it's why they're not going to be a Champions League team. It's why they're probably going to be 5th or 6th place and playing in Europe.
Perfect. And if this wasn't on general social media, I'd pull my bollocks out right now and say, thank you very much. Give him a tickle and put him away. Yeah. Because I feel the exact same way. I think Spurs are as close to frauds as an actual decent team could be.
Yep, agreed.
For that reason, I think Ange is going to end up holding them back.
Let's finish it up with a couple of early season 6-pointers. You hate to say it, but it's the truth. Saints score early. They have more possession, but they somehow have less shots. And Ipswich finds a way at the death. This
kind
of encapsulates what fucking Southampton is, isn't it?
I mean, this was a championship game.
Yeah, it really was.
To watch it, it was. I actually wrote a pretty good line about this. I think. I just have to find my actual notes. Here we go. I said this was the Make-A-Wish featherweight undercard Sunday.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely, it was. And there's really not much more to say. Like, if you're going to be a team, Southampton, that wants to stay up, you win this fucking game. It's what you do. You win this fucking game.
Absolutely.
You did not win this fucking game. Finally, the Toffees are on the board. They get a point. Yes, they gave away another lead. I think that's more indicative of the fact that not only are you missing the obvious pieces like Branthwaite and stuff like that, you're missing Idrissa Gueye right now. He had a loss in the family, and also like half the team has gotten fucking sick with all the injuries. Everybody got sick as well. But for
did you go watch them play last week?
What's that?
Go watch them play last week?
Yes, I did.
So you gave the COVID.
Yeah, I gave him the COVID. I was over there, gave it to all of them. But for Everton, this is a game. Yeah, you would have liked the win, but you're in their building. You got the draw. Honestly, the bigger story was the wet t-shirt contest that was Everton choosing to wear white during the middle of a monsoon, and that the screen was literally gray because the rain was coming down so fucking hard.
Right.
There wasn't much else in it. These are two teams that are going to be battling for survival. It's exactly what it was. These are teams that are going to be between, 15th and 20th. And I think, Leicester, their highlight was Ndidi playing well, and Mangala and Doucouré did pretty well as a holding midfield duo. I would imagine Mangala and Ghana are going to be fucking great as far as what Everton needs, as far as what a Sean Dyche team needs. For me, this is the turn, right? This is where Everton's going to start playing better matches, and the schedule favors them moving forward. They get Southampton, they get Ipswich, they get a Palace team that hasn't won yet. They get Fulham at home. So there's opportunities. There's opportunities for them. They get.
How long do you think Branthwaite is away from starting?
Branthwaite will be starting this next week. He did 60 minutes with the U21s. He's back on the pitch. He will be starting next week, which is massive because you can't blame this game on Keane, but you can certainly blame our start of the season and the amount of goals we've given up on Keane. And that's really all there is to it. Thank God I ain't got to do a fucking shot of Malort that I did at the beginning because I missed last week.
I just the last piece of information I had about this game is I wanted to claw my eyes out.
Yeah. Oh, it was a horrible watch. It was a horrible watch, and that's why it's an so that happened.
Sure money.
All right, ladies and gents, one more time. This is the part of the show where we better inform you about your betting patterns based on ours. And if you can't see the absolute irony in that, you're a fucking idiot, because I am down 400 US doll hairs. Sam, how are you doing?
I am down $82.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Did you know, round numbers, like 25% of the time, it works 100% of the time, Mr. Graham?
Still down, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I was up last week. So, which, you know what? You haven't been yet? Up. For me, I'm taking a very simple 2-leg parlay. I am taking Fulham to win at Forest, a couple of road dogs here, and I am taking Villa to win at Ipswich at plus 468.
Nice. I am going to take also some road dogs on the way to Maryland Live in a few minutes when we're done recording. But for my game here, my bet here, I'm
9-way parlay.
Almost. It's 8, actually.
There we go.
Because I am a gambling man. I'm going to do City to win away at Newcastle, Arsenal to beat Leicester at home, Chelsea or draw with Brighton, Nottingham Forest or draw with Fulham.
Not good gambling.
Liverpool to beat Wolves away from home, Everton or Palace to win. I'm still not convinced by you guys. I'm obviously still not convinced by Palace. but I don't think this is a draw. I think both of you view this as an opportunity to win, and I think one of you will. I just don't know who it is. So I kind of agree with you. Just don't know who it is yet. So I'm going to do the double chance on that one as well. Then we got Villa to beat Ipswich away. That should be fairly straightforward. And Bournemouth to beat Southampton in a South Coast derby. And all of that, out of the 10 fucking games, only turns me back $14.58 to the positive on my $100 bet. So I'll be, speak next Monday, I will be $1,058 to the good.
Get it together, Sam.
I've got it together, and I think this is a good bet.
Already, that is going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, I just want to make fun of Roy Keane for a second, actually. One of my favorite, individual players to ever play the game, and I kind of like his no-nonsense style and all that kind of stuff. I don't like that he stopped drinking. I much preferred drinking Roy Keane to not drinking Roy Keane. But he's so black and white with his analysis. He's so black and white with his opinion. I think a lot of it is just to make fun of people, is just to play that character, to be honest with you. But he said, I don't know why everybody's praising Arsenal. They still gave up 2 goals. I think away from home against the champions, against a guy who's now set 2 out of the top 2 records for fastest goals in a season. I think it's pretty decent that we held him to a draw given the circumstances. Yeah. And he just completely in his comments erased all context from everything and just said, yeah, but they gave up 2 goals. Fuck him.
Yeah, but he's a United guy. You think he's ever going to give our real credit?
Yeah, but over City now, why would you be – you should be praising us.
Fair enough.
You actually respect us.
Yeah. Well,
bought it all.
Everybody
bought it all.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I know this
130 times bought it all.
I know this has been a bit of a marathon tonight, but that first game really deserved the amount of time that we gave the talking.
Also, Sam hasn't been able to speak a lot, so we wanted to talk.
I recall you talking a whole lot there, Mr.
I don't think so.
Next up is DU does the EFL. DU does EFL. There we go. Finally made a mistake. As we discuss the rest of English football, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about Reading and their takeover situation, which has been very fucking crazy. And after that, we do injury time, which is going to be our preview show of the next week's action. We talk about our fantasy teams and the beers that we were drinking. Should people want to find our extra content, Mr. Graham, how do they go about doing it?
Very easy. It's at DU Football Show on all the social media and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch for normal correspondence. But if you want those extra shows, like Sam was saying, it's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Sign up to that $5 tier, and you'll get everything extra we do. And we'd love to have you. And also, anytime that you join that, you get top priority in any correspondence that you choose to share with us.
I hit my own cough button. Very, very good, everybody. And hail to the Red Commander Skins Washington football team. Well done tonight, boys.
Their win lost me a lot of money.
Till next week, everybody.